Okay, so hi everyone. This is going to be a series on me making Ruanja and Kasan, although I don't actually know how to pronounce these yet because the conlangs don't exist yet. But these conlangs are basically two conlangs from the books The Sparrow and Children of God by Doria Russell. Um, they're amazing books. They're two of my favorite sci-fi books ever. Um, I think they're very kind of disturbing books to be honest, but they're really deep and yeah. So basically I wanted to do a series on making conlangs from existing media because this is a kind of thing that like if you're ever hired to make a conlang like through the Language Creation Society jobs board or just through you finding some job on your own, like professional conlang is creating conlangs from existing media. And it's kind of a different process than just creating conlangs from scratch. So I wanted to do a series on it. And also it's just fun and like this is what I used to do when I was little. I would just take the conlangs in some fantasy book and make them into reality. And like as if you've seen the few shorts I've posted about Ron Kasan, this is just going to be a continuation of that. Why am I moving to this like new streaming format? Obviously today it's not being streamed, but in the future I kind of want to stream it, and I'll also maybe have a webcam. But like why am I moving to this format? Because I think I thought that making YouTube shorts would take a short amount of time. Unfortunately, it did not, because there's just so much editing that you have to do. And so I actually think this, even though they'll produce longer videos, unfortunately, will take a shorter amount of time. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll make maybe some short videos about the process in addition, but just the actual conlanging, I think, is going to be through this. And hopefully they'll kind of be like Biblaridian's conlang series where he just like makes the conlang live, and I love that series. And so hopefully it will be like that, and you guys will like it too. But yeah, any feedback about like how this works, or the conlangs itself themselves, or anything like that, much appreciated. Um, because yeah, this is kind of the first time I'm doing this. Um, so yeah, let's get started. And I think most videos will be max an hour, probably less, but they definitely will be longer than my usual videos, which are usually pretty short. But yeah, so we're gonna get started. So this is the Ranja spreadsheet. So to catch you up, if you didn't watch the three shorts that I put out, um, and sorry for the really long delay between them. But I'm just getting back now from being pretty busy. I'm still pretty busy, but I just really want to do this. So anyway, what I've done so far was I looked through the books, um, and I went through um, every single word in a conlang, plus like a bunch of things that were just like cultural notes that they had. Um, like and there's a ton of stuff in these books. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this process with these books specifically. The conlangs are pretty well developed. Like they're definitely like they're not well developed. Like there's not kind of long syntactically meaningful phrases, but like the culture of the conlangs is very well developed. Um, and I just think there's a lot here that's really interesting. A few like very interesting features of the conlang are mentioned in the text because one of the main characters is a linguist. And it's yeah, it's just a really great series to do this for. So anyway, I went through, I got all these notes about names, like culture notes, words, and so on. So basically, in this world, there are mainly two languages spoken by two different species, Ruanja and Kasan. And again, like the pronunciation of these might change as we actually make the conlangs phonology, but that's what I'm calling them for right now. These are two languages. There might be a third called Malanja, um, but we'll see. Yeah, or maybe that's just a dialect of Kasan. But yeah, anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. Um, yeah, so I went through, got all of that. Then I went through this list, and made a frequency chart of all of the phonemes. And so, um, yeah. So I got this. This is the frequency chart for Ruanja, not the frequency chart for Kasan. So we're going to be starting with Ruanja. There's also just much more development on Ruanja. So yeah. So basically what this chart means, if you don't know, this is the start of the word. This is between two vowels or two consonants, and this is at the end of the word. And so I did this for all the phonemes. And also like the consonant clusters are up here. The vowels, or sorry, the vowels are here, just within this. But anyway, and we're gonna get rid of that. Pretend that's something else later. Cool. So let's get started. So what we're gonna do first is like this process, like the definitely phonemes, maybe phonemes, and probably not phonemes process. So like what letters, what sequences of letters occur very commonly, what don't, so on. So for example, R appears pretty commonly everywhere. So I think it's pretty fair to say that R is probably going to be a definitely phoneme. We'll put it here. Because I think this is our old spreadsheet, this is our new spreadsheet. So, okay. We can come back to KH because it only appears once, and we can search here, for example. So KH, I wonder if we can search just in this column. That would be pretty nice, but I'm not sure that that's possible. I think I did that wrong, but oh, okay. Yeah, so one of the KH might just be the name of the planet called Rakhat or Rakhat or whatever. So that's not a great sign for it being a phoneme. Oh, and then there's, I guess, the second one is Talala Khairi, but that's actually in the other language, Kasan. I have the language notated. Oh, it's in Ranja? My bad. Okay, well, I guess the two instances of KH are Chalala Khairi and Rakhat. So we know what those are. So we can like determine later whether we actually think it's a real phoneme in the language, or this is just some misspelling of something else. But anyway, then we have T, also probably a phoneme. V, probably not a phoneme because it only appears in this prefix va, which we'll see also is actually from Kasan. Okay, so most definitely a phoneme. Put the vowels down here. E, also probably a phoneme. Interesting that it doesn't really appear word initially that much, but I think the same is true for So S, also definitely a phoneme. P, also definitely a phoneme. Interesting that it doesn't really appear word finally, other than once. But the numbers are still like pretty low here, so I'm not sure that we can glean anything from that, but we can kind of glean something from it if we want to. That's kind of an instance where we could be like, oh, maybe it is a phoneme at the end of the word, maybe it's not, and we kind of just get to choose. Then we have J, however we're going to pronounce that. Probably a phoneme. Yeah. SK, I guess, is a consonant cluster. I didn't put here for some reason. Or maybe I just listed stuff twice, but, you know, whatever. Well, anyway, then we got U, never appears initially, appears a lot in the middle of the words, and once at the end of a word, which is interesting. So I'm gonna list it here in that like it almost always occurs in between consonants. N very rarely appears at the start of the word, which is interesting, but does appear often otherwise. So I'll put it in our definitely phonemes. K, also probably a phoneme. SH, Not sure. Only appears intervocalically. M, probably a phoneme. E, I'm not sure where this is actually. I bet if I search it here though, like so few things are gonna come up. Oh, did we just get it? No. See, like there are all sorts of quotes in here. Milo. Oh, it's literally just a calc of one of the main character's names. It's like how the main character's name is pronounced by the Ruanja people. So like the main character's name is Emilio, and they pronounce his name Milo, or I mean that's kind of their nickname for him. So you know, like I don't know if we can really count that. I guess there's another instance of it too, but this might just be standing for the sound that's represented by I. Okay, then we got L, almost definitely a phoneme. O, also probably a phoneme, doesn't appear initially though. So I guess Ruanja does not have a lot of initial vowels, which like is pretty normal cross linguistically. Not a lot of languages have a lot of initial vowels, so that's cool. Cha, yeah, probably a phoneme, maybe a phoneme. Double L, maybe we'll come back to it. ZH, also probably maybe a phoneme, doesn't appear at the end of the words. Same as cha. Then we got some more vowel stuff, which we can think about later. Consonant clusters. F, maybe not. For F, we could say, like, we could get away with saying it is, and we could also get away with saying it isn't, depending on the rest of the phonology. Same with W, maybe. Or B. Or H. D. Oh, this, yeah. D2. Yeah, once you get down here, it's like, yeah. Z, like, probably not a phoneme. Although we'll see what the words are that have Z. G, again, yeah. Although the thing with these is that we could say they're phonemes, just because they do appear at least once. We could even say something's a phoneme that never appears. We just don't have like negative evidence in that way, but it is like much less probable that it's a phoneme. Okay, so let's look at what we have so far, and then we can go over like consonant clusters and stuff. So what we have so far, I'm gonna put the KH in maybe. What we have so far, yeah. So the phonology we have so far is, where should I put this? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's just make a phonology chart. We have M, we have P. The rest of the bilabials are unsure. We're unsure about them right now. We have N, we have T, we have S. Let's leave a spot for voiced. Voice stops. But we have S. We have L and R. Then we have J, whatever that will mean. We have K. Yeah, and maybe SH. Yeah, so we have K. Yes, again, maybe CH, maybe ZH. Unsure about the palatal series, or what maybe something else, depending on what CH and J represent, I guess. Okay. And is that it? Yeah, so I think that's it for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How am I missing one? Oh no, what am I missing? Oh no, it's because I put J and ZH in one column. Okay, cool. So that's the consonants, and then for the vowels, we have a, u, a, I, u, o, a. Interestingly, we do not have an E. Do we have an E at all? That's very interesting. Okay, I guess we do. Oh, I just must have missed this, but we do have an E. Oh, we also have a Y, which is interesting. I don't know if that's a consonant or vowel, but we'll see. We do have an E, but it's very rare, which is interesting. So we seems like we do have the potential for a 4-vowel system, which would be pretty cool. But we'll see. Okay. Okay, where do we go from here? So let's look at this column, the palatal column. So first we got our well, we can also glance the consonant clusters. So we have anja. I guess some of these are not consonant clusters. I don't really remember how I notated this, unfortunately, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the palatals. So we have sha in the middle of words. One of the words I remember is kashan. Let's see if which is the name of a village. Let's see if I want to figure out how this works so I can just only query this specific range. Can I do like A1 to A600? I don't know. Oh, I think it might work. Okay, kashan. Oh, let's go, guys. Vakashan. Reshta. Oh, that's in a different language. Washan. That's definitely Ruanja, I think. Yes. Okay, so Chaipasru Jari Iwashan. Okay, so we have Kashan and Washan. And I guess this means we don't know what it means, but we'll figure out what it means later. Okay, so what's the next one? Reshtari, Pakashani, English, more Kasan. Okay, so I guess we just have Kashan and Washan, which doesn't really tell us that much, but that's okay. Let's look for CH. We have again Chalala Khairi. Chaipas, which is a name. Again, Chaipas. Aicha, another name. Sinchis, that's definitely a common word. I remember. Sinchis. Kanchai, another name, a lot of names. Which perhaps it could signal that it's not a phoneme, but it could signal that this is a phoneme. I guess we don't really know. Pretty sure this is Kasan, yeah. Whenever there are the apostrophes, like it's gonna be Kasan. Okay, so I think, oh no, Truchasai. I think, yeah, this is also, wow, a lot of names. Place names and people names. Again, Kanchai, I think we have that, yeah. Chaninchai, that's definitely Ruanja as well. Chanin Chai. Cool. Sichulan. Wow, a lot of CHs. I don't remember writing down this many CHs. That's Kasan. Also Kasan. Also Kasan, but maybe Malanja. I think that was what I was writing here. So one of the characters was named Mark Robichaud. I actually don't know how to pronounce this last name, but it looked like that. So I guess the Ruanja named a certain type of garden after him, which is important in the books, but this is not a spoiler, don't worry. I'll try to not have spoilers. Um, but yeah, so I guess we don't really know how this is pronounced within Ruanja, like Robichaw's, like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Okay, so I think that's all for the CHs. Wow, but that's a lot of them. Okay. And then ZH, let's try. Manujai, that's a name. Jari, that's just a word. Sijao, definitely a Sijao and Sajai. Two conjugations of flower. Ajawasi. Wow, okay, so there are a lot of CH words. Oh, I guess there aren't that many, but these are pretty common, I guess. First introduced pretty early words. Okay, so and finally let's look at J. Awijan, name. Berinje, not sure what that means and not sure what language it's in. I guess we can look back at the context, but yeah. Sinonja, I'm not sure which language this is actually. Yeah, guess I wasn't sure then either. Langeri, Runa village. Okay. Kajip, also not sure. Seems like it would be Kasan because of the apostrophe, but I think it was mainly used in a runa context. It could be a loan word maybe. Oh, Sipaj, that's definitely a very commonly used runa word in the books. Look here, like Sipaj, something, something, something. Lejano, okay, this is a common runa word. Definitely a runa word. Janada, that's a name for the species. Janaata are the species that speaks Kasan, and then Runa are the species that speak Ruanja. Okay, yeah, and of course we got Ruanja. Wow, and this whole thing is this. I guess this is okay. Lejanonta Panalja Tinguenta Sinoda. I'm just like pronouncing this in like the most, phonemic way I can, but hopefully we pronounce it slightly differently once we actually make the phonology. The main character, by the way, who's the linguist, is Spanish speaking. So I mean, as well as he's like a huge polyglot. But anyway, so they should be the transcription. I think it would make sense to view them as from the lens of a Spanish speaker. Okay, so we got Banalja. Yeah. Another long thing, Je and Krishna. Je, Krishna. So I guess maybe the K beginning is not just this is definitely Kasan, right? Yeah. The K at the beginning is not just Kasan and also Runa. Okay, and we're back at this. Oh no, we're not. We have more. Njorni. Oh, that's Kasan. Ranjeri. Jalao, that's definitely a Runa name. Njotao. Also Runa, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm 99% sure this is Runa. Jotao. Oh, George, Jimmy, these are their calcs of some of the characters' names. Milo, Mark D, Haan, Thea, Jalsa, that's the Kasan name. More Kasan names, more Kasan names. Sage, I think this is the Kasan yeah. So these are Kasan words for a bunch of English like materials like cinnamon, cloth, vanilla, so on. More Kasan, more Kasan, more Kasan, more Kasan. Oh, I'm not sure if this is Kasan or Runa. Benhunjaran. Benhunjaran. Not sure what that looks like. Jil. Oh, that's Runa. Interesting. This word, which we'll figure out how to pronounce. Vraloj. That's definitely Runa. Aaja. Kajpin. Okay, and that's it for the J's. Wow. Sorry, this is taking a while. But yeah, so we got all of the palatal words. So this is it. This is what we're given from the books, both of them, about the potential palatal series. So how are we gonna like decide what phonemes are actually there? Let's look at this. I think we can reduce them a little bit. Like I think a lot of these like I think a lot of these might be like they're just like what the people are, what the context of the book is that like there are humans on an alien planet. Like that's what happens. I won't go into why it happens or how it happens or what happens because of it. That's kind of the book. But um the way that like we get all this information is that there are humans on this planet. Presumably like they're trying to learn these languages. They're writing down words from these languages. And I mean we hear them in context. And they're transliterated like this, but I think that the transliteration doesn't really have to be phonemic. The transliteration could be just like how these characters are perceiving these words. So it might not be exactly right. For example, sinchiz, maybe this is actually sin shiz, like with the sh, but then because it's after the nasal n, it fortifies, I guess, and you hear a ch, just like how like Thompson fortified to Thompson with a p. Yeah, so that could be a thing. And yeah, so I think we can reduce this a little bit. But what is pretty clear is that ch definitely appears at the start of words. So for that reason, I think we should just make it like a pretty standard cha. We can modify it later, but ch appears at the start of words. Maybe it has some allophone of sh somewhere else in the word or something. But yes, we have ch at the start of the word. Then we have ch in the middle of the word a good amount. Aicha, kanchai, sinchis, truchasai, kaninchai, sichulan. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, I mean the sichulan and truchasai, like it's intervocalically, and maybe even aicha, although not less sure about that one. But it's intervocalically written as ch, so maybe it doesn't have an allophone and it's just like ch everywhere. But let's look at sh. It's only intervocalically, which is pretty interesting. So like we don't ever have a word that starts with sh or ends with sh, which is interesting. Let's put on hold. Okay, so let's go to zh. We have it intervocalically again, and word initially. I think that makes it pretty clear that there should be a zh phoneme. Should we pronounce it as ja or ja? I'm not sure. Let's look at j. Awijan, definitely intervocalically. Definitely finally with like sipaj. I think we have another one. Yeah, vraloj. Definitely finally. Word initially, and this is really interesting. So janada or janada or however we want to pronounce this, they have the dj, which signals maybe the j is like a j, And then the D is just making sure that like we pronounce as ja instead of ja. Ja, not ja word initially. So maybe J represents ja, ZH represents ja. Yeah, that could be. Or just like Ajawasi is pronounced with a ja and it's just spelled this way. I think this is a pretty good assumption because I don't think we ever have J at the beginning of a word. We have George, Jalal, Jimmy, all with DJ, Jill. Okay, yeah, I think this is a good way to go with it. So we have, let's just say, so we have this like, thing that is ja at the start of words. And then ja otherwise, and can be variably written as ja. Cool. Awesome. And then for sh, not sure what to do. We could just leave it. I'll just leave it here as a question mark for now. But yeah, cool. So we have our palatals pretty much sorted out, which is pretty awesome. And so this is kind of the phonology we have so far. Let's look at our maybe phonemes again. Yeah, let's look at our maybe phonemes. Okay, so we got F. Let's look for some Fs. Find F. Kafai. Oh, it's just yeah. This is coffee, the calc of coffee. In yeah, we're not sure which language because I think the context of this is that the humans gave coffee to the Runa, who then gave it to the Kasan. So I'm not sure if Kafai is the Runa name for it that the Kasan adopted or just a Kasan name for it. It does look like a Runa word. Runa words often have that like AY at the end or AO. So let's say it's Runa, in which case, yeah, we have Kafai. But that could also just be a loan phoneme from English. Masna Tafai, that looks Kasan, yeah, it is. This one, oh, Fatsna, that's definitely Kasan. See, there are all these like really cool things. Oh, Fierno, that's definitely a common Runa word, common Ranja word. Yeah, so Fierno, that's interesting. Fire, I'm pretty sure that's a Kasan name. That's not, yeah. Fia is their calc of Sophia. And if they're not calc, but their like reduction of a human name still has an F with it in it, maybe they do have an F phoneme. Not sure what that is. Fran, no. Oh, Froil, that's also definitely a Ruanja word. Okay, so we actually have a lot of Fs, but they're all, except for Kafai, they're all at the start of words, which is interesting. Let's look at the other maybes. So W. We got Washan again. Suai. Washan, Suai. Hawas. Warsaw. That's Sun. Awijan, which we've already seen. Waralia. Sorry, I forgot the apostrophe. But yeah. Waile, unsure which language this is from. Okay, cool. Oh, and then for V, we actually have vraloj, which I didn't see before, I guess. Yeah, let's look at V again. Just so varachati, morva, zalkasan. Va basically means like from in this world. It's like de, like or the or that sort of thing in Romance languages. Um, Raloj. Okay, cool. So we actually only have Raloj, but that's okay. And finally B of this labial series, Berinje. I'm not sure which language it's from. Banalya. Unsure which language. I guess this is spelled in both ways um, by the author. Um, that's Kasan. Brainoa. Definitely Ruanja. Morksan. Benhunjaran. Not sure which language it is. Roby shows. I guess maybe they pronounce this as B. Not sure. Betrin. Not sure which language. Biautol. Not sure which language. A lot of unsure. A lot of not clarity here. And Berinja and Benanja. Okay, cool. But there are a lot of examples of B. So yeah, if we look at this labial series, one thing that I think we should do that would be cool is to merge like what? Oh wait, that's sick. No, not yet, but is to merge Uralia and Vraloj. I feel like maybe these are the same thing. Like maybe it's just Vralia and Vraloj. Like they're both like real. Maybe this Vraloj is actually a W underlyingly, and it's just an allophone because as like allophonically becomes a V. Um, I think that's what I'll do. So we'll put down here that it's just a W, and it has allophone of V. Um, I'll just say that. Um, cool. Uh, and I guess that allophonic, like, it's interesting that we have Vraloj here and Uralia here. And it's also interesting that we have the apostrophe there. Like, maybe if there was no apostrophe, it would just become Vralia. But yeah, maybe the apostrophe is like a schwa or something in Ruanja. So then we have B appears only at the start of words, I guess. So maybe it gets like deleted intervocalically or it turns into something else. Um, maybe we have B turn into W intervocalically. I think that'd be cool. Or maybe M, like something like that. I think would be really, really fun. Um, yeah, let's do that. Let's have like B turn into W intervocalically. Or otherwise it's W. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, but then we do have W at the start of words. Washan, Warsaw, Waraya, Waile maybe. And maybe that's a reflex of I don't know. Um maybe yeah, so maybe that's like actual underlyingly W that sometimes even turns into V. Um ooh. Um okay. Yeah. But then does W do something intervocalically or is it just merged with B is the question. Like Hawas. Is it from Habas or just Hawas generally? Do we see something else that W could turn into intervocalically? Or maybe it just dropped. Maybe it just dropped. Um, hmm. Hmm. Let's think. What could happen to W in the middle of words? Um, I think let's just say it drops. So let's just say it's W/V initially. Um, and then it's nothing. I don't know how to do the oops. I think I lost the yeah, let's just keep it as that, but I lost the null symbol. Let's use that for empty. No, that's bad. Um oh, okay. Cool. So W is lost intervocalically and B turns into W intervocalically, which I guess means that we could just say there's a B that only appears initially and then there's just a normal W phoneme. But I think this is going to be interesting when we think about morphological patterns, like if a prefix is added, like if we have a word body and then a prefix is added, mabadi, this one would become mawadi and this one would stay body. Um, And then, like, also if we had a wadi and a mawadi, the wadi would stay wadi, and the mawadi would become madi, or just madi. So I think that's a cool like pattern that we would have. So I like that. Okay. So we're good with that. We're good with those. We're good with B. Let's look at F. Honestly, I think there might just not be another way to deal with F. I think um yeah, like it just probably just is a phoneme. But let's look at P again. If we look at P, where it occurs 5 times initially, 5 times intervocalically, and 1 time finally. Okay, so it's probably not alphonically related to F because F also appears just initially and intervocalically. Um, okay, so yeah, let's do that. So F is just another phoneme. It doesn't appear finally that we know of, but that's okay. Cool. Um, so let's look at the others now. Let's look at H, D, and KH, and then we'll be done with this part. Okay, so H. So we're gonna have to get through all of these. Oh no no no! Only search in this range, please. A1 to A600 is what we said, I guess. What? Invalid range? What if I do that? Does that work? Do I really have to do this? Okay. Okay. Dachati, Shan. That's Kasan. Kasan again. Oh, maybe this is one. Yeah. Okay. Humpy. Hawas. Maybe this. Not really sure what this is saying. Yeah. Could also be a Kasan word because actually this is probably a Kasan word because BH occurs otherwise in Kasan, um, that we know of. So yeah. More Kasan. More Kasan. Oh, that's also Kasan. Okay. Think we might have reached the end of the H's. Um, yeah. Yeah, Kasan has a lot of H's if you haven't noticed. Um, oh, Lari could be also. Oh no, that's I guess also Kasan. Oh, Hartat could be a Runa name. Um, and then Hanala is definitely Kasan. Hartat, I guess we're not sure which language it's from. Sohra, that's definitely Kasan. Kasan, I think. Yeah. Then Hunjaran, also we're just not sure. I think we can probably assume that Ben Hunjaran is from Kasan because H doesn't appear intervocalically in any other scenario. But yeah. Um, yeah, that's Kasan. Jose. It's the okay, it's the Runa calc of Josepa. Oh, is that? That's Kasan, okay. Okay, cool, and that's H. So again, we only have it word initially. So what could this mean? I'm not sure. We could also potentially unify the H with the KH. And we can just say that has a lighter pronunciation at the start of words. Yeah. Or we could just say it was lost intervocalically. I think that's a good possibility. I actually don't know where the word rachat comes from. Is it Ruanja or Kasan? It's just there. So I actually, yeah, I don't know. It could just be Kasan, in which case we only have KH also at the start of the word. So we could just say that like H only appears at the start of word. And it could be H or KH, like free variation. I think that's something we could do. And we can say it's lost again anywhere else, which is fun. We'll have a lot of loss. Okay. And SH I think we just said was a phoneme itself. Kashan, Washan. Yeah. You know what? Like, could we say it's allophone of CH? No, because we have Truchasai and Sichuan. We could also say that like Truchasai is just um a different spelling of this Truchasai. We could also say maybe it's a spelling of Truchasai or something like that. But I don't think we really have that elsewhere in the language, so um um there are a few other things we could do, but I think the best thing to do, or the thing I think the thing I want to do is Sichuan Truchasai. Uh Truchasai. Truchasai. Huh. Um, you know what? Let's go for the reduction. Let's just say the SH is not. I think the smaller the inventory and the more like a little weird looking the inventory is, like I feel like that's pretty fun. I don't know. So maybe uh cha becomes sha intervocalically. Um, Yeah, I think that works because that explains why we rarely ever see SH and we definitely don't see it at the beginning of words. So let's do that. Um, cool, cool. Okay. And that's our consonant inventory. I think this is a very nice consonant inventory. Can we make this a table now? No, I want like, okay, let's just label it by labial or labial, coronal, palatal. We're not sure about the exact realization of the sound. Like it could be kya, like kya, and how do I type this? Kya, and kya, uh, yeah, and so on. Like true palatals. These could be dentals or alveolars. Like like F could be a true bilabial fa, but we're just not sure yet. But that's okay. So I'm kind of giving them very general labels right now. Okay, velar, nasal, unvoiced stop, voice stop. At least in the protoling or whatever. Um, unvoiced fricative, and like I don't know, approximant, and then rhotic. Okay, cool. So let's start to make this into a table. Can we? Oh, that's no, 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 no. Can I do like uh uh no. Okay, well, no, I'm good. I don't want to make it a table. That's fine. Okay, cool. So these are consonants. Okay, now let's do some vowels. So we're pretty sure about a lot of the vowels. We got our E, we got our and we got an O. And we're not sure like what like the actual IPA phonemes of these are. Like, for example, E could be like U or something. I don't know. And O could be like maybe O is the schwa or some realization of the schwa, and the schwa is like realized as either O or E in different places. That'd be cool. Yeah. Um, just looking through like, or let's look for U, because let's see where U. Oh, we didn't look at D. My bad. Let's look at D real quick. Does it ever appear somewhere important? Should we make it a phoneme? Oh, Janada. Okay. Okay, so we have Janada. Um, oh, oh, here. Um, Da. Oh, man, that seems like a pretty clear D. Uh, oh, and we also had G there, Tinguen. Yeah, Tinguenta. Man, okay. What do we do about this? Ting Tinguenta. Okay. Yeah, what do I do about this? Where does the NG come from? Um, I think I don't like there's not really other clusters with three different consonants. So I'm hesitant to say that this is like NKW, just a cluster. Um, it could be a reflex of like N like proto um N NKU, like one of the consonants that's lost, like W or H. Um, um, like Tincuenta becomes Tincuenta. Um, so maybe the UE is just more like a diphthong. Um, oh yeah, because that would make sense. Because Ruanja does have a lot of diphthongs. Like you can see it right here, wa, Ruanja. Um, and we'll look at the diphthong in a second. But yeah, okay, so that's fine. Okay, but we still have the D, so let's look at more Ds. Datinsa, is that okay? We're not sure which language that is. That's Ksan, that's Ksan. Kasan, Kasan, Kasan. DJ. Oh, well, we have D. Datinsa. See if I have it. Oh, that's definitely Runa. Okay. Darjan. That's Kasan name. More Kasan. Agadli. Kasan. Sage. Kasan. Juso. Okay. Juso. Oh, that's cool. 'Cause maybe all the diphthongs are just like partially formed from this loss of the W and the H. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. More DJ. Cool. Okay, so we got some D's. Do we want to make D a phoneme is the question. Yeah, that is the question. Could it be that D is just initial T? I'm trying to think of ways that it would not be a phoneme. Let's look at our T's, or let's just look at our frequency chart, I guess. So for T, you have 5 initially. Okay, so maybe D is not initial. Maybe D just is its own phoneme. Very sad. Yeah, could be, but what happens to it intervocalically is the question. Maybe it turns into something like like it could turn into R. That's definitely one option. It could it could get lost, like in Spanish, for example, modern Spanish, or old Spanish actually, could turn into L. Yeah, let's say it's D initially, could turn into, hmm. Let's say it turned into R sometimes and otherwise turned into, or otherwise is destroyed. I really like that. So yeah, and then turns into R or no, um, or maybe T, depending on where it is. I like that. Cool. Yeah, that's very fun. Okay, cool. So we have D. Let's get back to our vowels. Let's look at Z actually, just real quick, and G, just to round out this. Manojai, Ezel. That's we're not sure. ZH. Oh yeah, Sinchis. This could just be an S, like this is just an S at the end of the word, but it's like used to signify stress, like as in Spanish. I bet that's what it is. Oh, we have Jose. Jose. And that's actually a calc of Joseba. So maybe like Joseba, whatever. So maybe Z is just S. I think that's a pretty good. Yeah. Let's just say Z is S. And finally we have G. Jingwen. Oh, the word we were looking at before. I guess it means, what does it mean? Something that has contour, form, or texture. Interesting. Oh, this just, that's not what the word means. The word is referring to something that has contour, form, or texture. We just don't know what it's referring to, which is pretty funny. Yeah. We can look at the context back then too, but cincuenta something. This is all Kasan. Ah, yes, language, a word in Ruanja. Okay, Pigar. I think this is Bruna. Yeah, so we have, what do we have before? We had Tinguen. which we said was maybe a K, and then pigad, which, you know, also could be an intervocalic K. I think it's pretty, yeah, Agardi, I think that's Kasan, yeah. Kasan. More Kasan. Cool. So we have Tingla and Pigad. I think these are just Ks. Yeah, so maybe K gets voiced intervocalically sometimes. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to our vowels. So, let's go back to our vowels because I'm not sure how long I've been recording for, to be honest. So maybe we should wrap up soon. But yeah, let's go back to our vowels and finally make the phonology, or at least the phoneme list. And we can come up with more like cool phonotactics and stuff later. But so we have the phonology, or we have the consonant phonology. Let's look at the vowels. So we have E, O, A appear very frequently. If we look at our chart, we have, and let's look at the diphthongs now. So we have E, very frequently not at the start of the words. A, same thing. U, never at the start of words. And less frequently, but could just be that, yeah, it's just a rare vowel and things aren't at the start of words to begin with. Then we have E, which is just a calc, so we're going to ignore it. O, again, not at the start of words. And yeah, common. AE. AE is interesting. Oh, just still using it. Okay. Let's hope our range is still there. And no, it's not. Very sad. A600, can we do that? Let's look for, oh yeah, AE. Oh, chalala khairi. I think that's just loss of a vowel or loss of a consonant. Like loss of W or H or D. And we'll have to specify the environments in which D becomes each thing later too. But yeah. Then we have AO. So Zhao and Jai we have Runao. Also very common. I think all of these consonant clusters can just be the loss of something like that. So AO, AY, AI. You have E there. E or IY is interesting. Ua, ue, wa, we, like Ruanja. Maybe this was like Rudanja or Ruanja or Ruanja before. Oa. Ia. Iu. Ie. A. And Iao. Cool. That looks good. Yeah. Cool. So I think these are just from the loss of these three. Yeah. Heidi is interesting. So this is pretty sure this is just Tinguen, and this is Heidi. These are the two that I'm most interested in because they have E. I guess we should also look at Ia and A. So let's look at those. Okay, Fierno, and then oh, that's Kasan. Jose. Oh, is that it? Yeah, I guess it's Jose. And then Fierno. Okay. So I guess our question here is, so I think U is probably a vowel, right? I think U is probably its own vowel. Or do we want to look at U? Kuna. Oh yeah, that's funny. Let's go a few back. Can we do that? Um, I don't know how to go back. Oh yeah, a revolting mix of Kasan and Ranja with random elephants and commercial melanja. Oh, here's the fourth language. Palkirn al. This is pretty funny. Okay. Um, and like these are very interesting. So like she spoke in Kasan, but its precision was polluted by Ranja's slurred vowels. Wait, let's look for this kind of stuff. So Ranja, slurred vowels. Um, I guess rural. Um, let's look for all these ones. Um, so this is about declensions, non-visual declensions. English is monotone compared to Rwanda. That has to do with phonology. Melody of Rwanda is similar to Portuguese, soft and lyrical, full of structural surprises and conceptual delights. That's pretty funny. Gender, number system, sarcasm. Interesting. Oh, that was really interesting. That was about what like Earth languages are similar to Rwanda. So we'll definitely look at that when we look at that. The soft swooping soft vowels of Rwanda, uh uh inclusive, exclusive, we see there's so much in here. It's really cool. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this. Um Okay, and I think that's the start. So yeah, so we got this stuff. Slurred vowels, swooping soft vowels, very lyrical, not monotone, which is pretty interesting. I think this is mostly just like way of speech. Like like Italian has a very distinctive rhythm. Um, like I guess Portuguese does too. And yeah, Ruanja does too. I think this has more to do with the prosody, with the stress pattern and intonation patterns, which we can definitely look at. But yeah, so maybe it doesn't really tell us that much about the phonology. Although soft vowels, we're gonna have a lot of vowel after vowel things. So yeah. Okay, so let's look at U. Tinguen, Granja, Tinguen, Suai, Azúcar, which is if you can guess, sugar. I think yeah, sin Tupa. A lot of culture notes, which is pretty awesome. Um, wow. Yeah, a ton of those. Um, Not a lot of views for Ruanja. That's Kasan. Okay, wait. Anukar. This, I guess we don't know which language this is, but yeah, Anukar. That's Kasan. Runa. Oh, yeah, like the literal name of the people, Runa. Okay. Oh, Trushasai. Trushasai. Huska. That's pretty sure that's Kasan. Oh, we actually don't know. Maybe you've up. Oh, that's another V. But I think that probably could just be W if it's Runa. Sishulan, a Runa name. I think that's a place name, but more Kasan. Unsure if this is Runa or Kasan, but Pakwarin. That could just be a W. Oh, Diuso. Taksayu, again, unclear. So Taksayu, I'll put there. Pakwarin. Kunal. Also unclear. A lot of unclarity with the U's. Pupa. Interesting. I think that's Ruanja because we saw it before, but Benhunjaran. I think we're getting to the end of it here. Yes, and we're done. Okay. So interesting. So let's think, like, could you not be a phoneme or is it a phoneme? That is the question. I think that, so the ones we really need to worry about are Runa, Puska, Diuso, Rushasai. Yeah. Because Suai, we could just say it's like Soai or something, Soai, or Soai. Asukar, so on. Anyway, these, it really seems like U is a stressed vowel. Obviously it could not be. Maybe it's Runa, but just based on how the author writes it, I feel like, Runa is probably better. So is U its own thing? Also, we can put this in. This is Yuso. The UA. Oh, maybe that's Pakwadin. Okay. I'm not sure what I think. I guess. Like, what could these be if not you? Like, could this be Rona? Well, it's from Ruanja, so maybe it's Rona. Runa. No, I don't think that. Okay, I think there might just be a U. And I'm just gonna have to live with that, and that's okay. For the O's, it's like a O. O appears a lot, right? Yeah. Never at the start of the word, but a lot like this. Yeah. Let's think about why. So A appears at the start of the word sometimes. E appears very rarely, but still sometimes. And then O and U never appear at the start of the word. Even though they appear a lot otherwise. Even E appears at the start of the word sometimes. Maybe like O and U at the start of the words. O, U at the start of the words became like whoa or woo. That's definitely something that happens. But we don't really see whoa or woo anywhere, but I mean, it's definitely possible. Yeah. Um, um, let's also look, what consonants does A appear before at the start of words, like Awishan? So we have Owijan, Aicha. We don't actually have any consonants being lost initially yet, which is pretty interesting. Or you know what? Maybe we can say like, um, maybe we can say that. Yeah, we don't have any consonants being lost initially. I think we should, I'm not sure. I think, okay, you know what? Maybe we also have a glottal stop or something. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Wow. How do we get this scenario where like A is common at the start of words, or not common, but like appears a few times, but the others like never appear? Um, um, yeah, and we don't have anything that drops at the start of the word, right? We don't have like N only appears once at the start of the word, so maybe it's that. But let's look at, I guess, when N appears. So this is gonna take a while. I don't want to do that searching, but oh, I guess yeah, Awijan. Ayawasi. Uh, huh. Um, wow, I'm having trouble with this one. Oh, we should also. Um, what about L? L appears 4 times the start of the word. Okay, so not that. How do we get in this situation? Maybe it's not a problem, and maybe I'm just like fooling over it. Like, but it does seem like we could have a cool explanation here. I just am having trouble thinking of it. Ezal, we also might have Ezal. Um, Although that could be Kasan as well. SL, I guess. Um, we could have, for example, proto like ha that became ha at the start of words. Um, and then wait. I have another idea. Let's say we have a proto ha that became ha at the start of words, or like that. And then sha in the middle of words, like intervocalically. We could have that, instead of the ch, or in addition to the ch, maybe. Um, and then could it be lost at the end of words, or should it be sha? Let's say it's lost at the end of words. Which explains why you don't have sh at the end of words. And then we have an actual h, a proto h that becomes nothing, like everywhere. Or maybe Can we salvage this somehow? No, let's just say it dies. Um, and so that's why we get, yeah, I like this. Because this is a funky change. And I think it will mess things up with this as well, which I really like. So, yeah. Or maybe we don't even have this, you know. Yeah, I like this. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. This is very fun. So then chalk can appear anywhere, which I think is nice for the phonology anyway. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay. Yeah, so um okay, cool. Um so that's our explanation for why vowels rarely appear at the start of words. They're only from the deletion of H. Initial H. I guess this column should be more like this. Um yeah. Um you know, let's make this more fun and say this was like a ng that became nothing. And sometimes became n. Ooh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Um, became nothing at the start of words, and then maybe it became n otherwise. Do we have a lot of n's? We have 5 and 2 m's. What about n? N. I'm searching for n. Oh, here we go. 13. Okay, not that many, but like, yeah, let's just pretend there's a lot. I like that. Okay. So actually, all the vowels, like this was Norwegian before, and it became just Norwegian. But then if we add a prefix or something like Sang Norwegian, it's gonna turn into San Norwegian. I really like that. Okay, cool. Cool. This is very fun. This change and this change, I really like that. Okay, cool. Um, and so let's think. The E and the O. And I think this is the last thing we'll do before I sign off. Wow, this is 1 hour 22 minutes. I didn't see the thing so far. Sorry. The ones in the future will hopefully not be this long. But yeah. Okay. All right, let's look at the E. Maybe I'll like speed this video up or something, you know? That's kind of cheeky, but like you can always slow it down. Anyway, I'll figure out what to do. Let me know what I should do in the comments. Like, is speeding a video up okay? I don't know. Is this legal? If this is a good question. Yeah. So the E and the O. Do I want to search them up? Let's just look here. So we have like Khairi, we have Berinja maybe, Langeri, Lejano. I'm thinking maybe the E and the O are allophones. So maybe we have like E after L. Like after L, after J, Langeri, Lejano, Banaglia, or before J, or just like near, I guess, yeah, okay. L, J, 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 um, J, again, that's, E. Okay, here we have an O, unfortunately, Jotao. Maybe it just has to do with what's after it. So let's think of it. So before N, Langeri. Before J, Lejano. Before, or I guess when there's nothing, it can just be before nothing. Um, before T, it's an O, I guess, which is interesting. George before R. Although that's a calc, but you know, that's fine. Vraloj. Oh no, that's before J. Oops. Okay, you know what? Or maybe like, huh. Let's look at the consonant clusters we don't have. Maybe the deletion of some of these vowels is what formed E and O. Since E and O don't really appear, E never appears once, like, I think it's Eza, which we're not even sure is a Runa word. Once at the start of words. O never appears at the start of words. So maybe E and O have been formed by consonant or by vowel clusters of a pre like schwa or something. So let's say like a. So we have I. Maybe this is our proto column, okay? So we have khairi. So maybe this is a. But then what about a o, which there's a lot of A's. Jalal, for example. Like this. So maybe this is we don't have an AU. So maybe it's just an AU. Yeah, that's good with me. These can definitely be the same. E's maybe just two E's. Ua seems right. Oh, ua tingwen. I guess this is ua. Because we don't have a wo either. Okay. Oa, maybe that's an oh, but we're not forming. Oh, that's fine. Ia. We also never had an ea. You. Ia. We also never have an eo. We don't have an oi. And eo. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so then what forms like actual E and actual O? Let's say what consonant clusters do we not have on here? Jose. And what happens when is just on its own is the question as well. O appears much more commonly than E. So I think maybe we can say that O is like the normal, like O was proto schwa, just becomes O. Like for I know a word is pianot. And then what happens with E? So like Legiano or Lancieri. Let's do Legiano. What happens with Legiano? How does Legiano come to be? Oh yeah, and the final O as well. Legiano. I don't think we have a final E. Yeah, two question marks. So yeah. The E maybe comes from and oh, also we definitely have, my bad, I forgot about this. So we definitely have a ya. Yeah, we have like yasapa and kafai. Well, that could be something else, but yasapa. Or no, maybe this is just a diphthong. Let's leave it as that for now. Okay. Anyway, we could have oh, this could also be from yo. Vajano. Maybe the E is from a deleted consonant, maybe? No. No. Or let's just, if they're the same phoneme, O appears at the end of words. Neither of them appear at the start of words. Or, maybe E. And then what appears intervocalically, it could be either of them. Like in these clusters, I think it's like clear. Like we never had like apart from this, which we can say is from AU or AW. We never have one that's like the same for both of them. So we don't have a UO, for example. We don't have an EA. Yeah. So the clusters I think are good. And then in between, what distinguishes like Leggiano from piano? Yeah, what distinguishes these two is the question. Piano, Leggiano. Specifically the O in piano and the E in Leggiano. I mean, the way I'm pronouncing them right now, the O is stressed and the E is not stressed. But is that true otherwise? Like, we would have to stress this lingerie. Um, uh, Jotao. Jotao. Oh, but I would have been pronouncing this Vraloj. I don't know if I want to pronounce it Vraloj. Yeah, so Vraloj. 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 Royal. Oh, here's another one. Royal. This is an interesting one. Royal. 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 Raloj. Where's an E? Tinguen. Tinguen. Yeah, that could be it. It could be just O is how we write it when it's stressed and E is unstressed. And we're just saying vraloj. Vraloj. I don't know if I want to like be held to that though. Pianot, Freud, Vraloj, Leggiano, Leggiano, Berinja. Let's look at the thing. Let's look at the thing. Let's look through some stuff. Okay. Wait, did it just work like this? Oh. Milo. That's at the end of the word. Sijal, diphthong, diphthong. Sinonja, also stressed. We've already looked at Leggiano and Pianot. Leggianonta, also stressed, and E is unstressed. Sinol, diphthong. Tinguin, we can say that's not stressed. And raw. Oh, and raw. That's an interesting one. And raw. I guess that's the start of word is an E. George stressed. Je. Who cares? Je. I don't know. Okay. Moranor. Is that San or Ruanja? I think that's Ruanja, right? Yeah. Oh, Porai is definitely okay. Moranor. Moranor. Maybe, secondary stress is also there. And Porai is stressed. Sintaron, stress. Pon. These might be San anyway. Fierno at the end of a word. brojno. Giorni stressed. Jotao. You know what? This works. It's kind of weird orthographic like convention, but it works. Oh, Lonat. You could also say that's stress Praloj. Jose. Sofia Ala. Oh, that's Kasan. Kasan Froil. Awesome. And then E. Okay, well that's nice. Ninja. Lingerie. Also. Regimonta. Okay, I like this. Okay, let's just say, so there's an for vowel system time, and it's pronounced more like eh. We'll just say it. At the start of words, and unstressed, more like oh, stressed, or at the end of words. I like that. Cool. Get rid of this stuff. Awesome. So we got our 4 vowel system finally. Okay, cool. And lots of diphthongs from the dissolution of these consonants, the W, the D, the ha, the n. Very fun. Okay, cool. I'm very happy with this. Next time, I think we'll do more phonotactics and maybe more historical phonology. Maybe we'll figure out a proto-lang for this. But I'm very happy. And sorry it went long. Hopefully the others are definitely not this long. Maybe I'll speed it up. But yeah, and hopefully next time I'll like actually stream this. And it'll be pretty fun. So yeah. Thanks for watching this whole way if you got there. You know what? I'm gonna do the series regardless of who watches it or not. That's kind of I'm committing myself to that. Because it's just fun for me. So yeah. Okay. See you guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.